Hello, today I am going to give you a brief history of marijuana in the United States. We can date the use of hemp all the way back to the 18th and 19th centuries. At the time, the government highly recommended and suggested that farmers would grow the hemp plant so that way they could produce fibers that would go to making things like rope and sails for ships. Hemp was thought of as a economical, easy to grow, and easy to process plant that could be used in making several types of fibrous products. This was up until 1937. Also, in the early 1900s, marijuana was used as medicinal and was sold across the country in pharmacies, open to the public. There were no restrictions as of yet. In 1937, the Marijuana Tax Act changed all that by criminalizing the use, possession, and production of marijuana. This was led in large part by William Hearst, who was a newspaper mogul at the time. Him, and interestingly enough, the United States Treasury Secretary of the United States Treasury at the time, both had large stakes in the company DuPont. At the time, DuPont was in the process of patenting their new synthetic fiber called nylon. We all know how widely used nylon is now. It's everywhere. Is the use of hemp everywhere? No, it's not. William Hearst and his other benefactors in the DuPont company did not want the competition of hemp with the new DuPont product nylon. Because hemp was cheaper, it was easier to produce, more widely already used, and there was no extra cost in getting it up and going and making factories across the US like there would be with nylon. Unfortunately, William Hearst ran several propaganda stories for the negative feeling, to promote negative feelings across the US of marijuana, and was telling people that it led to violence. It was a gateway drug into heavier drugs that were starting to be classified as narcotics at the time, like cocaine and heroin and morphine. And he was able to convince most of the American public that marijuana was a bad thing, and the government ultimately passed 1937 Marijuana Tax Act. This all changed in 1996 when California became the first state to legalize the medicinal use of marijuana. And then it led to our state. In 2018, the voters decided to make the recreational and medicinal use of marijuana legal in our state. The very interesting part of this is, I have to get to my notes, that marijuana in our state has led to, in 2023, there was $101.6 million in tax revenue from the sales of marijuana at dispensaries given to the School Aid Foundation, which funds K through 12 school programs, and also to the Michigan Transportation Fund, which goes to fix our roads and several other upkeep things from our roads and roadways here in the state. And altogether, our state had revenue of $3 billion, which actually amounts to more per capita of sales in marijuana, recreational marijuana, than the state of California. So no matter what your feelings are, good, bad, you want to use, you don't want to use, Marijuana has had a very interesting history in the United States, and now we are one of 26 states that legalized the use of medicinal and recreational marijuana in the United States.